generating electricity, whatever the weather.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to 245 Live with Alan
There's
Short.
something he doesn't know.
A show that we've designed to try and link up people who have relatives and friends abroad who they haven't seen for many years. And
Alan, surprise! How are you, Paul?
Don't believe it.
I look at you every Friday and Saturday night.
Well, Sunday night, actually. And that's tonight at 6:30 on LWT.
You're watching LWT. Now we join Mike Smith and Sarah Green, who offer us the opportunity to take advantage of the exchange.
You should sell that. It's just getting in the way there.
Pass the shampoo, love.
The Exchange, sponsored by Loot, the free ads paper.
A big welcome to the Exchange, the place where anyone can exchange anything.
And anything can exchange anyone.
Doctor, look out behind you!
Oh, acting. What's this? It's a Dalek. This is the first offer for the week.
No, I'm going to go now, because this is where I get very scared and go and hide behind the sofa. Okay?
Yes, so do I, because it runs over my foot. This is Lucy Mumford. Where are you from,
Hi,
Lucy?
I'm from Hull.
From Hull. And this is your own pet Dalek from Hull?
It is my own pet Dalek. Yes.
How did you come by it?
Well, I was very lucky. I spotted it in a shop just down the road from where I live.
Yes.
And I just had to get it. I mean, you do when you see a Dalek.
I didn't know that the Daleks had overrun Hull yet, but...
No, well, I mean, it is the land that time forgot, so it's all right. The best bit, of course, was getting it home from the shop, wheeling it down the road, because I don't have a car. And then, of course, I had to cross over a pedestrian crossing, and I'd only just got it over the curb by the time the lights changed. So that's a bit...
It's a genuine Dalek with a history, is it? To be serious for a moment, because you think it's actually been in one of the Dalek movies as well.
Yes, I've spoken to a number of Doctor Who experts, and they reckon that it has been.
Right.
Because these boards down here are plaster instead of plastic.
Right, so you're talking about the balls on the outside
yes,
of it?
The knobs
yes,
there,
okay.
the knobs,
right.
yes. Before I got it, a chap had it in the shop, and then he got it from a stage prop shop, and then apparently it was on a fairground ride, and then apparently before that it was in a film.
And now it could be anybody's. What do you want for it?
Well, I really need a holiday. It's as you may have guessed, I'm expecting a baby, and it's the only craving I've had.
Was this the father?
No.
Oh.
It's the only craving I've had is to go back to Egypt. I went there 3 years ago, and so what I would ideally like is 4 return flights to Egypt.
Okay. In a plane, not in a police box.
In a plane,
okay.
not a time.
Dalek, off you go. Go to your new home. Plane tickets, please, to Egypt. 0891 48 48 48.
It could be, of course, that a Dalek doesn't take your fancy. If not, what about a gyroscope, or in fact 2 gyroscopes, because that's what Lucy and her mum, Donna Roberts, have to offer. Donna, welcome.
Hello, Sarah.
2 or 3 years ago, what possessed you to buy 2 gyroscopes?
We were looking for something to do in the daytime, something that would be outside, something that would be fun, something that we just thought it would be enjoyable to have down in Painted Seafront.
Right, you were working in evenings, were you?
We worked in the evenings, so we were looking for something to do in the day.
Right, what can a gyroscope do for you, please, apart from make you feel very seasick?
It makes you very, very fit. It uses every muscle in the body, so you get incredibly fit no matter what level of fitness you are already, because you can do it to whichever ability you have.
So it's a bit like swimming, you won't strain any muscles
no.
or anything like that?
I mean, you can go on and just do it very gently if you want to.
Now, this is a big gyroscope. What about the other one that you've got?
So we've got a child's gyroscope for sort of 5 to 12-year-olds, which is only 2 rings, but it also has the same idea.
When it comes to transporting them around, how can you do that?
The mini one fits with this one on the trailer, so they can be transported together, just as a normal trailer. It just gets hooked up behind a caravan.
What would you like in exchange?
I thought a caravan would be nice. A touring caravan that is a 5-berth with shower, preferably. But we are open to offers. If anybody would like the gyroscopes and could give them good use, we would love to hear from them if they've got something that they would like to offer.
Right, just to recap on what you want, 1 touring caravan, 5-berth, with a shower.
Yes, that would be
Right.
lovely. Thank you, Sarah.
If you've got one of those, do you want 2 gyroscopes, give us a call now on 0891 48 48 48.
Oh, but if that's too energetic, you should try this out for size, because this is Tammy Gilbert's weights bench. And she's right here. This was yours. You did use it.
Now and again.
Why did you get it? Were you fat?
No, I wasn't fat, but I just wanted to get a bit more in shape so I could wear a bikini as well as jeans.
Well, I don't want to wear a bikini, so I'm going to get off it, if you don't mind. Now, you want to exchange this. Why?
Well, I've now joined a gym.
Yeah.
And I wanted a picnic basket.
Why do you want a picnic basket?
I've got a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
And during the summer, there's lots of rallies where people with the cars can go and meet and
get out on the grass, roll in the mud.
Yeah, that's right.
All those
And
things you do.
picnic baskets are really, really popular at the minute. So.
Well, Claire Southern here has brought in this wonderful picnic basket.
Yep.
Because you, being a dancer,
Yes, I'm
you want
studying
to work
dance.
out?
Yeah, I need to get fit because I'm studying at Roehampton.
Okay,
and
hop across there, get onto the workbench, and we'll go off for a picnic in the country then.
Yeah, great.
Let's go.
The exchange bug is fast turning into an epidemic. So we've decided to hit you with a list at the end of every show. This week, a selection from the 300 homes currently on the exchange database. The list will flash by very fast, so you'll need to record it. If you're looking for a property, anything from a flat to a mansion, get a cassette into your recorder during the commercial break. By playing it back and pausing, you'll be able to browse through a fabulous selection of homes at your leisure. In the meantime, if it's a dream cottage in the country you're after, here's a man who could make that dream come true. Gavin, what's the exact location of your cottage?
We're in Walmer in Kent, which is not far from Deal. We've got the countryside behind us and the sea in front. And, of course, we're very, very close to the Links Golf Course at Sandwich.
It's also an area full of history, isn't it? I mean, the cottage is 300 years old. What are the sort of things that this cottage would have seen in its lifetime?
Well, there are a number of things, but I suppose the only one I really know about is Wellington riding past to go to the church. He used to pass here to worship in the church right opposite the house. But at that time, it was 2 cottages, not 1.
Take us through the house, Gavin.
Right, well, what we've got now is effectively a 4-floored building. It looks like a small cottage that's 2 floors, but there's an attic and there's also a cellar.
How many bedrooms?
We've got 3 bedrooms, 2 fairly standard bedrooms on the 1st floor, and on the very top floor, the attic is converted into another room, which is a bedroom, but we use it as a study.
And on the ground floor, you've got this incredible long living room, beautiful red brick.
That's right. We've got, I mean, we discovered all the bits and pieces in the living room when we were modernising the house. And when we took out a gas fire in one end, we found another inglenook fireplace, because each house originally would have had its own fireplace.
You've got a very modern kitchen, almost a conservatory, looking
Yes.
out onto a beautiful garden. Was that added on by your mother?
Well, this was mainly my mother's eye. Her one extravagance, I think, was a double jacuzzi in the bathroom, which isn't really in keeping with a 300-year-old cottage, but it's great fun.
Was your mother's eye also responsible for this beautiful garden?
My mother's eye and my hard work with my stepfather, yes. It was a jungle. She wanted to have colour all year round, so she planted things in the garden that would always look good.
What length garden have you got?
It's about 65 feet long, and then we've got about another 10, 15 feet of working area right up at the end.
So, what would you like in exchange for this 300-year-old rural idyll?
Sensibly, a house somewhere between Cheltenham and Worcester, but it's got to be a nice property, obviously. Or alternatively, a property in a ski resort, preferably in France. I'd quite like the new Porsche 911 Turbo, but my wife wouldn't agree with that. So if there's a dealer out there that wants a good golfing property in the country, wonderful. Or a work of art by a recognised artist, somebody like Richard Hamilton or Salvador Dali or a little Picasso, maybe.
But if someone is watching and they've fallen in love with your cottage, are you open to offers, even though the offers aren't on the list that you've mentioned?
Oh, yes, yes. I wouldn't say that we've thought of half of the things that we'd like, but those things that I've mentioned give you an idea of the sort of thing we're looking for.
Well, if you think this beautiful cottage is for you, get on the phone right now. You know the number, 0891 48 48 48.
There's the music to go with your new country cottage. Isn't that beautiful? George Glastris is with us from Christie's. George, can we just lift the needle of that? What exactly is this? Is this a phonograph or a record player?
This is a gramophone. This is a Pathé gramophone.
Right.
It's from about 1915. It's called the Elf.
Yeah.
It's, instead of having a horn, it's got a sound reflector in the lid, and the sapphire doesn't use a needle. The sapphire plays from inside out.
How unusual. How much is that worth?
About 250 to 300 pounds.
Okay, because these are things which are lovely to collect because you can actually use them. You've brought in here all the needles that go with these little tins and also these cylinders here that play on this one, which is a...
That's a phonograph.
A phonograph. And this is the original Edison phonograph?
This is an Edison phonograph. It's a gem. It's a red one. They did the black and the red. The reds are much more popular than the black.
And it's worth what sort of money these days?
About £600 to £800 for one like this, in this condition.
This is Robert Horde. Robert,
Hello,
nice
Mike.
to meet you.
Nice to
now,
meet you.
You've brought in this incredible device here, and I want George to have a look at this because you found this somewhere, didn't you?
In a junk shop, not probably half a mile from where it was made in the City of London.
And was it complete when you found it?
No, it was in bits all over the shop, so nobody knew what it was. They saw a spring motor, lots of engineering bits. The horn was somewhere else,
Yeah.
and bits of old clothes. I pieced it all together and realised what it was.
And what do you think it is
well,
now it's completed?
In fact, it's a gramophone of the turn of the century, just around 1900, and it still works after all that time, after a bit of lubricating.
George, what's your reading on this?
Well, that is called the Style Number 3, and it was one of the least expensive machines in the Gramophone Company's range. Gramophone Company went on to become HMV, and this particular one was a promotional item from a newspaper, and it's got on the front of the horn the remains of a transfer.
I can see that, yeah, just right there. So what would this be worth now in that condition?
It's not in the greatest condition, but it is a very rare machine, and at auction a collector would easily pay £1,000 to £1,500.
Oh, wow. And you want to exchange this? This is on offer tonight on the show. You want to exchange it
Yes,
for what?
indeed it is, and the record goes with it.
We'll hear that in a second.
Yeah.
But what do you want in exchange for it, Robert?
Well, I want a thing called a Felix Crystal Set.
And that's Felix the cat. This dates back to when?
This dates back to the very early 20s.
Right, and that's a crystal set.
This is a crystal set, same sort as that, but all these parts were screwed to the back of that wooden figure, and when you lifted his leg up and down, it tuned in the programme.
That sounds very rare.
Yeah, try that with your cat. I don't like it.
I won't if you don't mind. So that, or anything else that's interesting in radios or gramophones. But before we go, and before you get the offers for this, can we hear it?
Yes, indeed you can.
Let's get it going, because this is an incredible piece of kit. If you've
very-
only ever played compact discs in your life, you'll want one of these.
Here we go.
I hope.
What lovely music that is. Now, when you call 0891 48 48 48, you'll get through to the Exchange computer. All you have to do is tell it your name, your address and postcode, plus a telephone number, and a quick description of what you're offering and what you want in exchange. If you didn't get all that, don't worry. You can always look it up on page 655 of Teletext.
Of all the famous names in the once famous British motor industry, Alvis is perhaps one of the most important. They made cars from 1920 up until 1967, and less than 10% of those cars are still in existence. Roy Wiggins has got this one here, and it's on offer on the Exchange tonight. But importantly, this car, when you got it, was a box of bits.
Absolutely. 5 boxes, in fact, and a rusty chassis.
And you built it up from that?
Yes.
Back into what the original car was?
Well, as near as I could get it.
How long did it take you, Roy?
Oh, 3 years.
That's a lot of hard work, isn't it? So what have we got here? What are we looking at?
We're looking at a TD21, 3-litre straight-six engine in as near original condition as you can get it. The only alteration I'd put is an alternator instead of a dynamo. And it's had 2 registered owners. I think you've got the logbook there.
I have, there's the logbook, yep.
2 registered owners before myself. There were a couple along the way, but we picked it up in a field.
Well, it is in beautiful condition. I can vouch for that lovely interior, cream leather interior to it as well. What do you want in exchange?
I would like a 2-storey extension with a balcony Oh, you can
Sounds
laugh.
like a tall order to me.
No, not at all. No, it's on the side of the house, about 3 metres by 2 metres. So I'm looking for an enterprising builder with a yen for a beautiful English car.
Whereabouts do you live in the country?
In Oxfordshire.
Okay, so a builder, someone with some building skills can help this man out with his 2-storey extension. You can have this 1959 Alvis, and it is just a beautiful machine. The break's coming up, so now's the time to put a cassette into your video recorder and make sure you're set for ITV. If you want to see the list of homes, hundreds of them, on offer, we'll be giving you that list at the end of the show, but you'll need to video that list. We'll see you again in part 2.
Let's go ultra-modern and get rid of that.
Preparing for that first day at school is something most people understand.
I remember my first day at school.
You got everything? Football boots, pencil case. Oh, your hair's all sticking. All right.
Get off, Mum.
Let's go.
But money matters are rarely that predictable. Anytime you want advice, pop into Abbey National.
It'll be all right.
No hard sell, no flashy suits, no strings attached. But bright thinking and sensible solutions very much attached.
This is it.
We'll help you prepare for anything from the expected to the unexpected.
Good morning! I'm Mrs. Maynard.
We don't guarantee lifelong happiness.
I remember my first day at school.
So do I.
It was diabolical.
Language, George.
But we do promise something you won't find anywhere else.
This will be perfect for my collection of Victorian chamber pots.
And welcome back to the television event of Sunday night. That's right, you're watching The Exchange, and a big welcome back to Dan Godfrey, who's on the very first exchange of the series. You brought in these character jugs, Chelsea pensioners, you wanted a grandfather clock. How many offers did you get?
We had 18 in all, Sarah, and I exchanged with the last caller that we had.
And that last caller is right here with us. Welcome, Irene.
Thank you.
And you've brought the grandfather clock with you.
We have,
all
yes.
the way from the West Country.
Correct.
Tell me how you and Dan got together.
Well, we received a phone call whilst I was cooking tea on Saturday evening, and Danny asked if he could come and see the clock, and I said, by all means. He asked if he could come the following day, so we arranged that he would come the following day about lunchtime, early lunchtime, but he arrived on my doorstep at 9 o'clock.
To get from Hitchin to the West Country for 9 o'clock, you must have left at the crack of dawn.
I did,
You were
yeah.
very keen, weren't you?
I was very
Are you
keen.
pleased with the clock?
I'm thrilled to bits.
How old is it?
Well, the clockmaker was functioning from 1830 to 1850 approximately, a Durham clockmaker.
So about 1840s we're talking about,
Something
probably.
around that.
Are you pleased with your character
Oh, we're
jugs?
thrilled. Thrilled with the boys.
A good deal done.
Excellent.
And a new friendship made. I'm
Certainly.
very pleased for you.
Now, it's often said that old bikers never die, their chains just get a bit slacker. I've got something here that's 75 years old. It's not me, it's not Ronnie Bock, it's the bike that's here. And the unusual thing is that this week, Ronnie Bock is offering something that he owns as an exchange, aren't you?
It's my bike. It's
What
my
is it?
bike. It's a 1920 Sun, and it's built in Birmingham, but it's far too complicated for me to ride. So it's up here for exchange, and it's a beauty, isn't it?
We'll find out what you want for it in just a moment, but I want to go around this bike because I think you need to be an octopus to ride this bike. Can we just go around the knobs and buttons on it? What does this one do, Ronnie?
Throttle and air mixture.
Yeah.
Oil, drip into the engine. The gear lever, 2-speed gears.
Yes.
Advance and retard. And the levers on this side. I mean, I'm like an accident looking for somewhere to happen when
Well,
I'm
it's all these levers, and you've got to hold the handlebars, of
Oh, I
course,
forgot about
to
that
steer
bit.
it, yeah. There's lovely acetylene lamp on the front of it as well, because obviously there were no battery lamps available
No,
in those
no
days.
battery lamps at all.
And it's in working order.
Oh, it's in full working order, and the beauty of it is it has the Vitesse engine, which is 249cc, and you can actually take it apart on the curbside with a few spanners and put it back together again.
Sounds like your
Special
sort of thing,
design.
doesn't it?
No, not
But
anymore.
it's got to go because it's too dangerous for you. So
Yeah.
what do you want in exchange for it?
Well, anything interesting to ride or drive. What about a Harley? Would you come on the back of a Harley with me?
Well, no, the Harley itself is all right, but with you riding it, it's a different story.
Now, come on.
Have you got what he wants, a Harley? This could be yours. 75-year-old motorbike.
As Rugby World Cup fever grips the nation, we have 2 exchanges for you, and the first one has been brought in by Jim Davis. Welcome. Tell me the story behind this signed rugby ball you've got.
Sarah, I was fortunate in 1979 to go to New Zealand and, as part of my visit, acquire this 1979 rugby ball from the All Blacks.
And you've had it signed by the whole team, haven't you?
By the whole team.
Now,
yeah.
tell me a couple of the names that people would know from that team.
We've got number 7, which is Mari, and we've got number 14, which is Stu Wilson. Mari, of course, was the captain and one of the most famous of all the All Black rugby players.
So for any rugby fan, this is a real treasure.
Yeah,
You've also got a couple of the programmes with you.
Yes.
What do you want in exchange?
Right, well, I'm looking, as part of a school project, to get the project underway, a 486 computer with a CD-ROM and a colour printer.
Right, let's hope we can find that for you. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you, Jim. Oops, and this is the other one. Here we are. This has been sent to us by Norman Florence. Now, he can't be here because he's actually working this evening, but this brings us right up to date. This is the 94-95 squad, all been signed, and if you look closely, you can see Will Carling, you can see Tony Underwood, Rory Underwood, Jeremy Guscott. They've all signed it. What Norman would like in exchange for this signed rugby ball: ornaments for his new flat. He's got bare walls, he wants pictures, he wants ornaments. So please get on the phone now and call us on 0891 48 48 48.
Now own up. You really want to be an adventurer. You don't want to spend all your life sitting at home watching the TV, do you? You want to do something different. This is your chance. Andrew, what is this hot air balloon you're offering?
This is a Cameron V77 balloon. It's a very popular sporting balloon. It's ideal for a group of about 4 or 5 people because it can take 3 people comfortably flying in it, and then you need a couple of friends to help retrieve you.
Is it an easy sport?
It's not as hard as people would say. You obviously do need to be trained and have a licence. You do a minimum of 16 hours flying, and you've got to do some written exams on meteorology, navigation, air law and balloon systems. But people can normally do it within a year.
Depends on the weather.
Yeah, that's why we're stood here not flying. That's one of the reasons why I'm thinking of exchanging it, to get something that's a little less weather dependent.
How often a year would you be able to use something like this?
Well, probably about 1 in 4 days throughout the year, probably all right.
This is something that has to be a group activity, doesn't it? Because it takes quite a bit of effort to get one of these into the sky.
Yeah, you really need a group of about 5 people.
Running costs for a year?
Well, it depends how much you fly, probably about 500 quid a year to insure it, and perhaps £20 an hour for the gas.
Just describe to me that feeling, though. You say, you know, 1 day in 4 you can fly it, but that day has to be one of the best days of your life, doesn't it, to do that?
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. You know, you wake up early in the morning, that anticipation, look out of the window, think, great, I'm going to go flying, dew on the grass. You get there, a bit of frantic action getting it up in the air, then a serene flight, a little bit more frantic action packing it away, and then you've got the rest of the day to reflect on it and possibly do it again in the evening.
So why do you want to get rid of this balloon?
I've had a wife for a while, I've now got an 18-month daughter, and there are other pressures on my time. And I want something that I can go away knowing how long it's going to take, so I can fly and come back to somewhere at a given time.
What do you want?
Well, I'm thinking initially about a 2-seat microlight. I've had a flight in those, they seem to be good fun. But I'm open to other offers, but I think something involved with aviation at the moment.
So the key to all of this is, what do you have to offer the exchange? Because you might have something that Andrew's interested in. It might not be a microlight, but he may be interested in something else. So give us a call, because you could end up with the hot air balloon. 0891 48 48 48.
Any more fares, please? Move down a bus. The number 37 bus rolls into the exchange marquee. It's owned by the Brennan family. The bosses are up here. That's Mark and Jonathan. I'll just come down the steps at the back of the bus to meet John, who's Dad, driving the bus. This is a 1/3 scale replica of a 1920s London bus, and it's beautiful. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
How long have you had the bus?
I've had the bus about 18 months to 2 years.
Now, I know you can't drive it on the open road, but where have you taken it?
I took it on Caravan Park in North Wales, fetes, festivals.
You've always had a lot of fun with it, but why are you exchanging it?
I've had loads and loads of fun, family and myself. It's time to move on. I'd like something else now.
What would you like?
I'd like a classic van.
A classic van.
Classic van, yes.
Any other details that you can stipulate here? Must it be before a certain date?
Before 1960, preferably, and preferably done. I don't want to renovate it myself.
Okay, in good condition, a pre-1960s classic van for a 1920s, well, a replica of a 1920s bus. Beautiful. Well, get on the phone now. 0891 48 48 48.
And that's all we've got time for, but now is the moment to press the record button on your VCR. If you haven't got a cassette in yet, put one in, tune to ITV and press record, because coming up in the next few seconds are pages and pages of property. Far too fast to see at this speed, but when you replay it using the pause button when the programme's finished, you will see hundreds of details about pieces of property that have been offered to the Exchange database. We've been inundated with houses and flats and mansions, and not just in this country, but also abroad as well. So do that, and we'll see you again next week. 0891 48 48 48 is our phone number.
Keep calling us, because the show wouldn't be possible without you. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there's live and exclusive coverage of England versus Western Samoa in the Rugby World Cup next Sunday. So, in fact, the Exchange will be back in 2 weeks' time.
Can't get the hang of this.
Yes! 60,000 points!
The Exchange, sponsored by Loot, the free ads paper.